We are back on the Morning Brew with friends. We're talking about one of my favorite things this morning, horsies. And there's a great horsey video there a second ago. And this is Renee Sievert and Honor Medina. And you guys, you're an Equus coach?
Yes.
And what actually is that? What I mean, that's a giant. I'm sure
It's
it means a lot of things. Yes.
It's a brand new term. It's a person who's been trained in, life coaching, executive coaching, combined with expertise in working with horses, with people.
Very cool.
So it's on the ground. It's not riding. It's using the horses as co-facilitators, if you will.
Like a therapy dog, but they're a horse.
Yeah,
in
a
some
horse.
ways. That's very cool because I know that there are. I know about the assisted therapy stuff. There's equine assisted therapy, and some friends of mine have family members who use a horse like other people would use an assistance dog in some ways.
Yeah.
And it's huge help for a lot of people, right? Is this in that same vein?
It's a little bit like that. We're both trained in both equine therapy and Equus coaching, and they are a little bit different. Do you want to say a little bit about that?
Well, I think with Equus coaching, one of the main differences is it really provides a great opportunity for people to understand how they really show up in their relationships with others.
Okay.
Horses provide a great mirror for that because they're prey animals.
Right.
They're completely sensory motor, so they sense everything going on with them, which makes them experts in reading body language.
Oh.
So it feels like they know what we're thinking before we're thinking, but they're reading our body language.
Oh, they know everything.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh,
So the
I never
feedback
thought
is
about it
wonderful.
that they were like the prey animal that does that, but of course that is, I guess.
The fact that they trust us and get in partnership with us at all is amazing.
Right.
Since
Yeah.
we're, predator and they're prey.
Right.
But, we rely on language so much as humans and kind of forget that our brain is reading everything,
Right.
the nonverbal, the intention, the energy, and horses can help us remember that our brains do that too, but we've forgotten because we have language.
Right, absolutely.
And we tell ourselves a lot of stories about why things are happening. And that's what the coaching's about.
Oh, okay. And there's a big it's a conference essentially this weekend, right?
A workshop,
Well,
yeah.
tell us a little bit about the workshop.
Well, the workshop's tomorrow
Okay.
out at Loving Thunder Ranch, and we're going to have a group of people that have signed up, and we take them through different exercises with the horses. Each person will get a one-on-one session with a horse, and then in the afternoon we do things with a team, put you into teams, and go through these different exercises. And we're just watching for what comes up with the humans and how the horse responds, and we do the coaching around that.
That's very cool. And is this like team building like for an office team or for
It can be.
It can be?
It can be.
Tomorrow, each of the participants are in there to really learn more about how they communicate and show up in the world and make any adjustments if they see anything that they want to make changes on.
Very cool. So what have you guys learned from the horses?
Oh my gosh.
How long do you have?
We got a few minutes, but like what are some of the things, like some of the major things that you guys have picked up and that you guys have been able to share and really learn from them?
Well, one of my first sessions as a client when we were in training, the person brought the horse up to the round pen where I was going to have my session, and the horse was just all spooked and, huffing and puffing, as they can do.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the person said, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. The horse is spooked, and I can't get him to calm down." And I'm thinking, I want a different horse, And the coach said,
Did you know horses before this?
Not that much. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
around horses and rode a little,
Right.
but I hadn't owned my own horses yet. So the coach that was training me said, thanks to the person that brought the horse up, and then she grabbed the lead line and she looked at me and she said, "You can go in there with that story or not. You're the person that's going to set the energy for this session. So if you need a moment to gather yourself and decide what kind of session you want, I'll give you a moment." And my mind still said, "I want a different horse." But I went in with a new intention, and the horse, it got in sync with me and mirrored me instead of the energy and so it's a great way to practice, okay, how am I showing up? How do I want to change that if I'm not happy with what's happening?
And this translates to people.
Yes.
Yes. And so you can go into any situation with people and say, how do I want this,
Exactly.
this whatever situation, TV show, whatever it may be,
Right,
to go?
right.
Yeah,
And we go all over the country and work with corporate
Yeah.
teams and healthcare teams, and they they leave with a whole new perspective of how they are with each other.
That's very cool. And Anna, what about you? What are some of the things like that that you've learned and picked up from the horses?
Probably the most valuable thing I've learned is I can adjust the energy level that I bring into a discussion with someone, and it doesn't have to take a whole lot of effort. I would put so much effort into clarifying my point verbally.
It's gotta be
And
this way.
I've got, you must understand. And
Yeah.
I've let go of that.
Oh.
It's because I can still make my point and not put so much into the verbal, dial it back in, take it internal, and it's people throw the word energy around, but it's really about reading nonverbal communication, and that's what horses do. So I've learned that from them, and I can read, well, this person's sitting back in their chair. Wait a minute,
Yeah.
maybe
They're way over
maybe
here.
I need to come in and be a little bit more warm and open.
Right.
You know, it's taught me to make these subtle changes, and it's been a tremendous improvement in my relationships, both professionally and personally.
You know, horses really do know this stuff. I've been around horses. I love horses,
Yeah.
and they're so gentle and so skittish, and weirdly so powerful, and they don't even know it, right? And that part of it is the part I think that scares so many people, is that they are. I mean, these are things that literally can pull a wagon, you know, or if they kick you, you're breaking a rib.
Right.
You know,
They're powerful
they're
animals.
super powerful
And you
animals,
can't control a horse.
not really. You have to guide
Control
and
yourself.
almost suggest things to a horse. How much of that do people also do? You know, how much of that when you're
Well, we can do a lot more than we do regularly, and that's why these sessions are so important for people, because we've forgotten that we can control ourselves, and
Right.
that creates a difference in the room.
right?
So, you know, start within and go between is one of the things that we do. And you get an opportunity to try that with the horse, you know.
Yeah.
I've had managers come in and say, well, I need to be more assertive, or I need to be, well, give that a try with the horse and let's see how that works.
Right.
And what happens is when you're trying to be
How
something
often does
you're
it?
not.
How often does it fail?
Right. Well, because you're trying to be something you're not. And if you're just yourself, you get better results. So it's a
Yeah.
great way to come back to self and come back to what we know.
And the great
about
thing is,
ourselves.
with skillful coaches and with the beauty and gentle energy of the horses, the feedback's non-biased.
Right.
You can allow it to be what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you can choose to make it good or bad, but we encourage people to let that be. Is that something you want to make an adjustment over?
Right.
You want to try something different?
Very cool. Well, the workshop is tomorrow, and
Yes.
you don't have to have a horse to show up, right?
The horses are there.
The horses are already there.
At Loving Thunder.
At
they're
Loving
already
Thunder.
there.
And you can find out more at, what's the website?
SievertServices.com.
That makes it easy.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be back in a couple of seconds, and we're going to be talking about Startup Weekend. This should be a lot of fun on the Morning Brew with Friends.